YouTube fight fans all over the world. It's your boy, the realest of the real, Real Talk Boxing, and I'm back at you again. I want to give a shout out, a major shout out, to Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua for being willing to fight each other. Just simply being willing to satisfy the fans and give us a top dog with an undisputed heavyweight champion of the entire world. Shout out to these two men. Shout out to the promoters, especially Eddie Hearn. A lot of people don't like Eddie Hearn. I understand he's a promoter. You can't trust him, but Eddie Hearn gets things done. He is the Dana White of boxing. And if we had an election for one promoter, one matchmaker for professional boxing, I would vote for Eddie Hearn. Don't get mad at me. He gets it done. He makes it happen. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Shout out to these two fighters, man, for doing what a lot of fighters aren't willing to do. For just stepping up, you know what I'm saying, and wanting to know who the best is. Fighting each other to get a clear-cut understanding who's the best. Who's the best? Undisputed. All the belts. Not one, not two belts, not a freaking... What do you call those belts? Interim belts? None of that bull crap, man. True titles. Shout out to these guys. Honestly, man, 2021 doesn't, as of right now, doesn't look like a good year for professional boxing because we don't have a lot of elite fighting the elite. Except for this fight right here. I mean, you have a lot of talks of undefeated fighters fighting each other. Excuse me. You have a lot of talks of champions fighting champions, but nothing's etched in stone. Errol Spence versus Crawford. More than likely not going to happen this year. Anytime soon. Freaking Manny Pacquiao fighting Terence Crawford. Errol Spence. Doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. Ryan Garcia fighting Tank Davis. Definitely not going to happen anytime soon. That's understandable, but there is Devin Haney. There is Lopez. Make that happen. Then you have Canelo fighting Yildirim pretty soon, who's coming off a loss. Speaking of Yildirim, of course, coming off a loss, and he has a shot at the title. Now, Canelo does have fights lined up down the road with champions, Caleb Plant, so forth and so on, but why Yildirim? Why not Benavidez? You know what I'm saying? Why not, Charlo? Somebody of that caliber. Yildirim. I'm not jumping on Canelo because I think Canelo is the truth. Point blank period, he's the truth. And some say he needs a break. So maybe he needs a break. Okay, I'll give you that. But nevertheless, he's not fighting a champion next. The only two fights that I'm excited to see this year is Fury, Joshua, and sadly to say, Jake Paul versus Askren. That's bad, y'all. That's bad for a boxing fan, a true boxing fan, to be saying that. But nevertheless, we're going to get the mega heavyweight fight. The pay-per-view buys is going to be crazy. I think Bob Arum stated that in the UK alone, they're thinking they're going to be getting 1.5 million, 2 million pay-per-view buys. And rest assured that this pay-per-view is not going to be cheap. I mean, we're willing to pay 100, but I think it's going to be over 100. I think it's going to be 120 per household. That's what I think. And I, for one, am willing to pay for that. I am. I could watch the fight free the night of, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to contribute, and I'm going to put money in these fighters' pockets because it's well deserved. Because I'm just ecstatic about these two champions willing to fight each other, and it's actually going to happen. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. Because as of right now, it's really the only fight that I'm looking forward to, and really the only fight as the mega fight etched in stone to happen in 2021. Because none of the other fighters are. It's not etched in stone. Neither one of them. I mean, unless you guys know something I don't know. I might be sleeping on some of these fights that may be happening, possibly happening. I'm still not too happy about certain fights that are going to happen, certain fights that aren't real fights. Not happy about that, y'all. But nevertheless, Fury, Joshua is happening. I'm happy about it. Who's going to win that fight? Real talk. You're doing a lot of rambling, but who's going to win that fight? Okay, I might as well make this 2 videos in one. My prediction for the fight, for the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Fury versus Joshua. I'm picking Tyson Fury. And here's why. Not sleeping on Anthony Joshua whatsoever. Anthony Joshua has come back from a loss, gained his titles back, and is significantly getting better each time. Lots of power, huge, big, strong guy, but I think he lacks the skills to beat Tyson Fury. He lacks the movement to beat Tyson Fury. He lacks the ring generalship to beat Tyson Fury. I believe Tyson Fury is a superior boxer. He has improved tons since he fought Klitschko, because when he fought Klitschko, they both looked like garbage. It was a very awkward and ugly fight, but the man's footwork, his punches, his output, his jab, a 250-pound plus Tyson Fury is hard to beat. Hard to beat. Especially a 271-pound Tyson Fury is very, very hard to beat. Not many men that big, that tall, can move like he moves, punches like he punches, and uses generalship like he uses generalship. He's just hard to beat. And I do see Tyson Fury pulling out a unanimous decision. Possibly, not so much, but possibly a late TKO stoppage. And I'm going out on a limb by saying that. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's possible. It is very possible. But I see him edging it out with a majority decision or unanimous decision over Anthony Joshua. I believe Anthony Joshua is going to get outboxed, and he's going to get outclassed. Could be wrong. I love Anthony Joshua just as much as I love Tyson Fury. But I just don't think he has what it takes, skill-wise, to beat Tyson Fury. Could he knock Tyson Fury out? Of course. Do I think that that's more likely to happen than Tyson Fury winning in those ways that I mentioned? I don't think it's more likely to happen. I think it's more likely for Tyson Fury to win the fight than it is for Joshua to knock him out. But it is possible nevertheless. What do you think about 2021? What do you think about the possible fights that's not etched in stone? What do you think about this heavyweight fight that is etched in stone? It's going to happen, y'all. Lord willing, it's going to happen. And I will be there, and I will pay $120 to see that fight. And just because this is Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua doesn't mean that this is the only pay-per-view that I would pay for $120 to see. Because if you had other weight classes fighting the elite, fighting each other, I would definitely pay for it. I would pay $120 to see Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. I would pay $120 to see Ryan Garcia fight Tank Davis, or Lopez, or Haney, or vice versa, whichever one of those lightweights you want to throw in the mix. I would pay $120 to see that, but those fights are not being made. The super middleweight fights are not being made right now as we speak. So what do you guys think about 2021 as a whole in professional boxing right now? Is it a year you're looking forward to? I'm hoping fights are going to get made. It's still early. We're getting right out of the first month, going into the second month. So it might be jumping the gun. But this is something that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention, and I want your thoughts on it. And who do you think is going to win Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua? As always, respect all, fear none. God bless. Leave your comment down below. Let me know. Till the next time, Real Talk Boxing, baby. We up and we out of here.